So welcome to Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft. So hello dear. I'm at my wife Michelle, Wade's son. I'm at her work. And I'm sitting here waiting to help out, doing a couple things, and I got bored, so I made a stove out of a soda can. This is just one soda can. Top of it, bottom of it. And then I took the center part and made a little stand. So I'll run through real quick what I did to make it. Like I said, I'm just sitting here bored, and I used office materials. I used what do you call these things? Paper clips. Used a little paper clip to bend the edges. I used a thumbtack to make the holes. I used some sticky notes for the measurement, so I could make the measurements. I used a Sharpie to make the markings, a pair of scissors, and a stapler. So while at the office, I decided I would make a stove. So let me tear this thing apart real quick and just kind of show you how to do it. I'm sure everybody knows how to do these, but this is new for me as far as doing videos, like in the office survival gear. Alrighty, I had to move real quick. She had business she had to deal with, so I came into the little community room. Here's the little community room that they have. So anyway, this is just one Coke can. All I did was cut this one first. Like I said, I used the sticky notes to measure for the measurement, and I just stuck the Sharpie on it and just traced around it and cut this part out. And then I turned the can upside down like this and cut that part out. And I used the clip to put the little knocks in there so that it would fit in there, and I had to cut a little piece here just so that it'll fit, and it just fits inside here. See if I can do it one-handed. Maybe not. So anyway, that fits in there, and I'll do that in a second. I used the push pins to make the holes, and then this was what was left, the center part. And all I did was put it together and put a couple staples into it, and then I cut, as you can see, and it's sitting there, I cut the couple spaces for airflow to go through it. And then on the top, I also cut a couple notches here for airflow and for it to, not that it needs it to sit there. So I'll put it together and then I'll get right back. Alrighty, so I got it together. There's several things stopping me from testing this out. The biggest things are the alcohol that goes in the stove, the isopropyl alcohol. I don't have any of that here right now. And also this complex does not allow open flames, so I couldn't do it in here anyway because I'm not allowed to have open flames. No candles, nothing like that here. So anyway, just basically place your alcohol or heat or whatever you're going to use in there. Alrighty, so this actually works as a windshield, and also I could put a little candle on the bottom of that, and I could use this as heating up water if I had to.
Yeah.
I'm showing. I do a YouTube channel. I'm showing people how to make an alcohol stove, and with using office equipment. Alrighty, so things got busy at her work, and we're at home right now. So what we're going to do here is we're going to see how long it takes to boil up 4 tablespoons of water. I think that's what it was. Whoop. Let me take a look here. It says, okay, yep. It says 1 tablespoon. And I put 4 of those fit in here. So this little thing holds 4 tablespoons of water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to light this tea light, and I am going to use this piece that I made. I'm going to set it on top of the tea light, and then I'm going to place my water on top of that. Anyway, I got 4 tablespoons of water in the bottom piece of the stove, and of course I took it apart as that. I'm going to use the windshield and the stand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a tea light candle and I'm going to light it. Then I'm going to place the stand on top of that, and then I'm going to put the water on there like so. And what I'm going to do is see if a tea light candle will get that water hot enough to bring it to a little boil. Now, after I do that, we will assemble this whole piece as a stove, and I will place in there some isopropyl alcohol, and we will light it, and we'll make sure that it works in that capacity as well. So we'll get right back. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is light this tea light candle. There we go. Stick the shield over top of it. I'll place the water on top of that. And let's see what. Alright, it's 6:20 right now. And what we will do is we will see if that tea light can actually heat that up enough to boil first, and second, how long it takes to do it. Now, clearly I'm not going to have you guys sit around watching this whole thing while that happens. So I will turn the camera off, but we'll see what happens. I'll get right back with you. Alrighty, so it's been 3 minutes and I can see bubbles accumulating on the bottom of the can, and I'm pretty sure you can see them here. Alright, now it's 7 minutes, and I'm gonna stick. Oh, I can see steam. I can feel it too. I can see steam coming off there. Oh, yeah, that's hot. Woo. So that is definitely hot enough right now, and I'm sure you can see the bubbles on the bottom forming. And I touched it, and that's hot right there. So it takes a little bit of time, I think. 3 minutes and the bubbles started forming. Alrighty, so we're back now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the stove again 2 different ways. One, just plain where I take the alcohol and just pour it straight in here, and then another one where I fill it with a wick, which is actually nothing more than dryer lint. And we're going to see if that really makes a difference. I've done it both ways, and I see the pros and cons with both ways. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of isopropyl alcohol, and I'll pour into here with the dryer lint, and light it and see how it works. And then I will take the dryer lint out, and then I will just pour the isopropyl alcohol in without the dryer lint and see if there's any real big difference. Alrighty, here we go. One, two. Alrighty, so let's get this. Oh, first I have to get the lid back on it. There we go. And then we will light it up. Not with that one, I guess. Alrighty, well, let's get a little bit here. Hold on a second. I'll take a third one there and dump it on there just like that, just so that I can get a little bit of a starter. There we go. So you can clearly see that it's lit. And looks like it just went out. Alrighty, so we're going to give it another shot. This time I took the lid off of it. Let's see if that had anything to do with hampering it. Yeah, I think maybe that had something to do with it. So that seems to work just fine, just that way it is there. No need for the lid or the top part of it. We'll just remove that. So if you've seen any of my other videos where I use stoves like this, you may notice this little item here. And what that is let me go ahead and turn the light back on and I'll talk about it for a minute. There we go. This is just a piece of aluminum that I believe I got at the Dollar Tree, or maybe it was Walmart, but it was a pan and these holes were already in it, and what I did was I put it around a pan and shaped it, and I use it as a base for when I cook. Let me see if I can't. There we go. Alrighty, so there you can see that little pan there. So it used to be some kind of oven pan, and what I did was I placed a bowl under there and I shaped it, and then I can stick pots and stuff on that and actually cook with it just like that. Alrighty, so now I took out the lint, I put the lid back on, and I put in actually a little less alcohol than I did with the lint. So we'll see if this works. There it goes. Turn the light out. Oh, let's see if it even worked. Did it go out already? It went out already. Let's try to light that back up again. I'm going to leave the light out here for a second so that you can see. No. Alrighty, so let's see if we got that primed. Let's see how it works. Yeah. Does it go? There it goes. Alright, it's lit, but is it going to stay? Apparently not. Nope. Alright, so we're going to take the lid off that and see if maybe we can get it. Alrighty, now let's try it without that lid on it. Now I didn't put a sidewall on there, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. That's lit. Turn the light out real quick so you can see it. There you go. Yeah, it looks like that's going to work just fine. Yeah, that's going to work just fine. I don't need that lid. As a matter of fact, the lid is a hampering, unfortunate mishap. That doesn't need to be there. So, and I don't think I really need the wicking either. I don't really like having wicking in these types of lamps or these types of stoves, because if you don't use it all, I mean, it stays there and it can leak out and all sorts of nastiness. At least with the just pouring it in there, you know, once you're done, you can always pour it back into something else. With the wicking, you can't necessarily really do that unless you squeeze it out, and then it's kind of nasty and doesn't always work well. So I like using it without wicking, and clearly it works. So in some respects it didn't work, because this lid here is not necessary. I just kind of threw it in there, but it isn't necessary. And not that it's gonna lighten the load much, but you know, at least it will lighten it up a little bit. So this stove works just fine the way it is. It's just the single bottom part. Works with wicking and without. And also, once you add your windshield, it also becomes a nice little pot that you can boil water in. So multi-purposed. Thank you for watching Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft, and enjoy the outdoors. Even if it's just your own backyard, or maybe your wife's work, or maybe your kitchen. Anyway, enjoy.